the church is not endorsing anyone. It's a platform that the Jesus Women Ministry have provided to ensure that we come together and we get the best of minds to teach us, to talk to us, and then we can take the information and use as needed. But clearly it's not an endorsement by the church, but it's an access. We don't bring people we don't have, that doesn't have credibility for sure. So at least for onset, you know that whoever comes has been vetted, and these are people that we believe that can add value to your business, to your career, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, I want to hand it over to Francielle, and also to say thank you for this platform. I learn every time we come together. There's one knowledge of the other that I take. And this evening, I'm excited, looking forward to learning from you and others. So Francielle, take it away.
Yes, good morning for joining us this evening. We're really excited for the session that we have tonight to learn about digitizing your business and how to grow and take advantage of every opportunity that you have with potential customers, whether that be in person or online. So tonight's speaker is Kim Granger, and she is the co-owner of Z Software, a tech company that creates digital experiences of businesses, from building apps to websites, serving clients across industries in healthcare, e-commerce, retail, and manufacturing, and more. Z Software is focused on leveraging digitization for growth. So please join me in welcoming Kim for tonight's session. And just a reminder as well, please keep your microphone muted while the session is going on. And then at the end, we will have Q&A, and you can type those into the chat box.
All right, can you guys hear me? All right, so this is the fun part about working, doing sessions on Zoom. You just have to always keep checking and making sure people can hear you. So it's gonna be great. Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate you guys having me. I'm excited to be here. Now, with the way things are set up, this is, if you don't mind, I want to be comfortable here with you guys. So we're just gonna have a, it's gonna be a relaxed session. Granted, I have the nice little background there because you don't want to see what I have behind me. My son just like wrecked shop. So I'm really grateful for virtual backgrounds. Thank you, God. It's wonderful. But anyway, thank you again for giving me the opportunity to speak with you all. And just as Francielle said, my name is Kim Granger, and I have the pleasure of, I guess, coming here, and you guys get to hear me talk to you for a bit. And I guess for me, one of the things I typically do whenever I do workshops or I talk to folks, it's just, I will talk for a little bit, but I'd like to show you rather than tell you, right? So I'll talk through a couple of things, show you a few things, and then feel free, as Francielle was saying, once everything's ready to go, you guys can ask questions. I will do my best to give you the answers that I can. And if I do not know it, we're just gonna have to pray about it. But it's gonna be good. As also Francielle mentioned, I am the co-founder for Z Software. My partner, David, I think he's on here too. And we started, Z Software actually was born out of just the pandemic and all the craziness that was happening. And one of the things that we noticed was that a lot of Black and brown businesses, and also businesses owned by women, were getting hit hard. And the reason that we're getting hard, apart from, the obvious, was just because you noticed some discrepancy with digitization and things like that. So that's one of the reasons why we actually ended up creating Z Software. So I would like to go into more detail. I'm very passionate about this, and hopefully I'm able to give you resources that can help you, as you go about doing what you do best. Now I'm going to try and share my screen so you guys can stop seeing my face as much as you want to see my face, right? Let me share this here. Okay. So if you guys can see it, give me a head nod and a thumbs up or something. There we go. All right. So we're going to talk about digitizing your business. Actually, a lot of times, I'm sure by now, you've probably heard the term digital transformation. If you have not, that's amazing. Because I don't know where you've been, because everybody's saying it now, right? It's a buzzword. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to explain to you what it is. We'll talk through some things, and I'm going to show you some use cases too. So first thing is, there we go. What is digital transformation? Now, as I mentioned before, right, it's everywhere. Like everyone's talking about it, especially because of what happened in 2020. Digital transformation became a thing. So it's this huge buzzword, and everybody has different definitions of it. And it used to actually be around a while back when, we had the whole tech boom, and then things changed a little bit. But anyway, pandemic came and this came back up again. Now, if you looking at different definitions, I'd just like to explain this to you an easier way. Bear with me as I move this way. Sorry. So the easiest way that I can define digital transformation for you is the use of technology to enhance or develop processes within an organization to achieve desired outcomes. Okay, what does that mean? That means, honestly, being able to find a way for your business. I'm sure you have a roadmap, how you want to make things happen. It could be a product that you're selling, maybe services that you're selling, but the hope is that you do have a goal, right? So now with digital transformation is having to find a way to use technology to help you get that outcome. If it's because maybe you have a book and you want to sell 3,000 copies, or maybe probably more. If it's you have services that you offer and you want to have people hire you, whatever it is that you're trying to do, is using technologies available to you to be able to enhance your process, develop a process if you don't have one, and then be able to get those outcomes. Now, the cool thing with digital transformation is, if you really think about it, you don't have to spend a necessary amount of money. You don't have to use other people's technology. A lot of people get scared and they think they have to spend like millions and millions of dollars and get these top, softwares installed. You do not have to do that. And I'm going to kind of talk through certain things that are available to you. But again, just want to kind of give you an idea of what digital transformation really is. Now, the next thing I want to do is just talk about the benefits that come from digital transformation. So you decide, okay, you know what? I would really like to, transform how things are for my organization digitally. What am I going to gain from it? Now, one of the things that, again, like I mentioned with the pandemic, is that if people notice that, hey, you know what, you can actually be able to attract more customers. You can increase your money. If you're not transformed, you can actually stall the way things work for you and maybe increase your operating costs. So now the goal would be that if you now are digitally transformed, you can reduce your operating cost. One of the fun parts that I like, this is what makes me a little bit of a nerd, is that you have access to real-time data, and then being able to do something with it. You can streamline your process, you can remove redundancies. And one big thing is success with business branding. That's a big thing. A lot of times businesses forget about that. And then of course your increased growth. And if you can, which you should, focus on enhancing your employee experience and your customer experience. So digital transformation can do all of that for you. And it's not this magical word, again, or something that's going to cost you millions. Just utilizing little things here and there can make the experience better. I'll use an example. So social media wasn't created to really like do anything with customer experience, right? It was just a way for us to just get along and talk to each other and just kind of find a way to communicate with different people. Now, what people have been able to do is they've utilized social media as an additional channel to be able to reach their customers. So, for example, I see that let's use an example of running for office. Now, if you have a page that's up and you have your potential people who could elect you come in and check out information about you. Another thing you could do now with the social media channel is be able to link up your social media page, have them be able to contact you, just make the experience more personable. Those are the things that one can do without having to now tap in and spend unnecessary amount of money. So those are the things that I am talking about here again, with your digital transformation. Now, how can you actually be able to do this? Ideally, the goal is you develop a strategy. And in developing a strategy, this is where you get to assess who you are, what you're about, not necessarily you personally, but your business. So whatever it is that you're selling, your product, it could be whatever service you're offering, but develop a strategy that works for you. Again, like I mentioned, you do not have to use, say, for example, my tech company uses 10 different softwares. You don't have to use the exact same thing I'm doing. And that's why developing a strategy makes things clear and says, okay, this is what my business is about, or my organization or my product. And here's where I'd like to do. And here's what here are my goals and outcomes I'd like to achieve. And then finding ways to get that done. So that's where you have developing a strategy. And then the next thing is you choose the right technology. As I mentioned, again, you don't have to use other people's stuff. You can use yours, something that works for you. Now, if you're stuck and you're hanging on to pen and paper, I'm going to need you to let that go just a little bit there. But find the right technology that works for you. It could be, so for example, on your website, you have a lot of traffic, and you also might have a second job, or like your actual job that you're doing, your 9 to 5. And so you have a lot of traffic coming in, but from 9 to 5, you're not available. You could lose potential customers that way. So if you actually utilize a chat bot, right? A chat bot, maybe with the use of AI, that could help you be able to reach your clients, your customers, and give them what they need while you're not available, things like that. So the goal is you don't lose people. You find the right technology to help you get the results you're looking for. And another thing is, another way to digitally transform your business is be open to evaluating and adjusting. What does that mean? One of the things with transforming your business and going digital and using the right technology is that you will now have metrics that you could use to measure how things are going. And if you notice that, hey, maybe the tracking system I have here showing me that my customers go from A, C, D, and they're skipping B, perhaps you now need to readjust things. And so you have to be open to being flexible, right? So that you can be able to, again, get the outcomes that you're trying to go for. And sometimes you might have to adjust the outcomes that you're going for as well. And the big thing I ever stress is please do not shy away from getting help. You don't have to do this alone. There are companies and there are resources out there to help, where you can get the resources that you need, get the expertise that you need to be able to help you get the right strategy in place and get the right technology in place, and again, be able to get the outcomes that you need. So I know a lot of people just shut off their cameras, so it's just me staring at myself. Hopefully you guys can, it's making sense, and I hope I'm helping here. Now, what I want to do is, thank you. And now what I want to do is I want to show you a couple of case studies. I had the absolute pleasure of meeting 4 amazing women that are with Proverbs 31 ministry, and they decided to be my guinea pigs, and I appreciate them doing this for me. I had a chance to actually just speak with them about their business, and I want to show you just a quick little case study. So the first one I had was Justini Collection. I'm going to actually go into the page here so I can show you what it looks like. So when I spoke to Justini Collection owner Joy, Miss Joy, the background information rather on Justini Collection is that Justini is a fashion site, and it's a fashion line rather. And I want to get you, I'm trying to get to the website, so bear with me one second. Anyway, so it's a fashion site that this, and she has been around for a while. She gave me her personal story. Another thing too that I had a chance to do, which I absolutely love, was getting a chance to meet these ladies and just hearing their story. So I'm going to go ahead and resume share here so you can see. So I got a chance to hear the story, and then I checked out their sites, and some people had sites and we didn't, but we talked through some things. And so I'm showing you Justini sites to show you where current state. This is where Justini is. So Justini is a fashion line, and this is where you have your couture stuff, very nice, high-end, personally made, lovely materials she's using for her clothing. And if I'm going to scroll down a little bit, I want to show you a couple things here. So this is the site. And after I spoke with Miss Joy, and we talked through a few things, I went back to my team and we came up with another design. Now, this is not to say, oh, there's something wrong. Oh, sorry. This is not to say there's something is wrong per se, right? The goal is to be able to convert clicks. Like when people visit Miss Joy's site or visit Josini collection, that they're able to get information, get what they need, and hopefully we convert that over to clicks. So here's what we came up with. I'm going to show you the rhyme or reason behind that. Oh, I think you might have somebody photo bombing you guys. Sorry, give me a second.
Yeah, let's remove the person.
The fact they came is a cool thing, right? So that means people are seeing the ads. Look at that. So we're popular. All right. So hopefully you guys did hear me. So I want to show you what my team came up with. I'm going to go in a little bit. So this is one of the designs. You can see the two designs there. Usually we come up with mock-ups. Why is this here? Let me show you. So with the site, it's just redoing a few things. You can have a call to action right away. The goal is, or the difference here is, if you were to go to Jacini right now, using a template, it's very easy. Yep, you can get access to it. But the user's experience is not going to, it's not going to be anything extraordinary. Now, understand that customers, your potential customers, they have access to all kinds of things being thrown at them constantly now, right? Because of the pandemic, everybody hopped online. So all the brick and mortar people went online, and everybody's doing all this stuff to get people's attention. So as a customer, I don't have to dig around as much anymore. You have to work for my attention. And so that means your website has to go right to like, okay, what are you doing? Can I add this to my cart? Oh, this catches my attention. I like this clothing. You'll notice a lot of times people have headers and they're able to change like the images there. That gets your attention. Here you can see the different categories. You can have access to the catalog. You can see the collection. And then, get information about who she is, and then her join the mailing list. So that's a call to action again. So you can contact her, you can email her. This is one of the little mock-ups we had. One of the suggestions I also made too was for her to possibly have a chatbot so that she's able to get in contact, or people can get in contact with her. I want to show you another mock-up that we had again for her. One of the things with the mock-ups is, you kind of pick through what you want and make it your own. This pulls attention to the price. Again, you have your call to action. Go ahead and perform something, do something. So as the customer, I go, ooh, I like this. Okay. I don't really have that much time since I'm on my phone, but I can get on here, see what I like, add to the cart, go ahead and just pay and keep moving. If I want to create my account, I have the ability to do that. Again, scrolling down, this is very important, especially if you're an e-commerce site. Make sure you give your people the ability to add your items to the cart. Having to dig around and figure out how to buy something is not something you want to do to your customers. That's not a good idea. So just something, add to the cart. Again, they just want to view details. They could do that. Again, people want to know who they're buying from. If they want to get to know more information, we have the read more. So your landing page, this is what we always make reference to. It's very important. It's the first thing people see. They're landing on your page. What kind of information are you giving them? So my suggestion for Miss Joy was to do this, update her page. I dug around and kind of looked around, and I noticed that the payment integration needed to be there. So she currently has, I believe, PayPal is in place, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with using PayPal. But sometimes with PayPal, it means you have to hit the button, leave the page, go somewhere else, go pay, come back again. And it's really hard when you lose people, like when they have to go somewhere and come back again. If they go, sometimes they don't come back again. So the goal is to kind of do everything that you can do while they're right there on your page. So my suggestion was for her to perhaps get another payment integration system embedded in it. And then again, a chat bot, because I do know she's very busy. So in a chat bot with an AI that can quickly answer questions, based on just the tracking and seeing where people are going to, she can be able to give them frequently asked questions thing in the chat bot. So that would be available for people to utilize. So that's that. Now, another case study I have for you is Runway Fabrics. So Runway Fabrics is it's I guess it's a baby store. It's a fabric store that she doesn't currently have a website right now, but she does have an Instagram page. And based on everything I saw, lovely material. Again, awesome personal story behind the business. My suggestion was get a website set up and then automate your order processing, because her big thing was she wanted to have it set up where it'd be easy for her to manage her business mobile, have a mobile setup for her business and just have it solely be online. She'll still have that personal touch with the customer service piece, but wants it to be heavy online. So my suggestion, create a website, because that's important, because you do want to have digital footprint, and then automate your order processing and give a chance for customers to interact with the sales with the use of chatbot. Now, I'm saying all this again, you will notice I keep suggesting chatbots because studies have shown that people actually like the fact that they can just reach out, look down, hit a button, and they can reach somebody. Even if it's an AI, you can still make it personalized. So I do want to stress, because a lot of times I get like a little pushback sometimes from clients when they say, making customer service digital, it's going to take away the personal experience. It really actually doesn't. There's a way that you can find ways to have whatever technology you use work with your business culture, and you can then make that personalized. All right. Now I want to take you to, I have two more, and then I'm going to have Francine talk to me about this. So I've got Dr. O Juice. Got a chance to talk to Dr. O. Lovely. I keep saying this, and I'm so serious. Awesome personal story again. And the thing with the personal stories is I always stress, this is me coming from not just a digital background, but just from a PR and branding background too. It's always nice when people know the story, because then they feel connected. If you just come out with buy my stuff, what makes you different from everybody else? So a lot of times now, what studies have shown is that people are not just connecting with just if you have a good, product. It's just, what's your story, right? Like, why should I buy from you? Do I like your story? Can you understand who I am as a person? So making things personalized experience is always something that I always suggest that people do. So now I do want to show you Dr. O's current site so that you could see what I did with my assessment there. So I'll do this again. All right. Can you guys see the site? I want to make sure you guys can see it. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. So this is Dr. O's current website. And so in clicking around, I just want to show you a couple things. So you notice here to the top left-hand side, her logo is right there, but it's so small. And it's a beautiful logo with great colors, but you don't see it. And the colors aren't around. So you see some issues with branding here and there. And I'm going to go back again to the designs that we had for her. So the goal is that as I'm here as a user, granted, yes, reviews are great. I can get to that and make sure like this is really real and people like it. But what else is happening, right? Is it just, can this keep my attention? Imagine you're dealing with someone who's getting things bombarded. They're getting things thrown at them constantly. Do you have something to catch their attention and keep them interested in wanting to click through? And also, again, this is, you'll notice like the product itself is not here for me to go ahead and purchase right away. Those are the things you want to do when you're selling your products, like get them to see it, get them to add it to the cart. So I'll show you the design that we had for Dr. O Juice. We came up with a couple things, well, actually 3 designs or so. I'll show you one of them. So here we've got version 1, and this is the juice one. So we have the full story about Dr. O Juice, but here at the very top, we have the juice, and you see the let's explore. So that's gonna, okay, you know what? I don't really want to read this right now because I don't have time, but I just want to go buy this. Right here, it could take me to the cart, or take me where I need to go ahead and see the other items that she has there for me to purchase. You can see her logo is a little more prominent there. So the top left-hand side, the colors, the use of colors helps to see, okay, cool, this is wonderful for branding. And then you can see the pictures, they do her a little more justice. So here, I can see what's going on here. And now one of the things that she has on her site is she does sell, she's a nutritionist. So she does counseling and does education. So you could schedule a session as well. So that's what's available. And then you get to see her story. And here, right here, if I just want to shop and buy the items I want to buy, I can do that right away. Right? I can put that in my cart and keep going. Now, one of the suggestions I made for her based on what she has going on with her juicing company, being that she has clients all over, was to actually go into the space of having an app. Now, apps don't have to be super scary, but you can actually have an app. So we kind of did a little mock-up, giving her a little bit of a visual of what it would look like if she had an app, because it makes it easier. A lot of these juicing companies, their customers tend to be on the go a lot. So a mobile app is nice. We also suggested doing like a loyalty app. And one of the things too is I actually suggested that, yes, granted, this is for the juicing one, but I wanted her to maybe pull the consulting one aside as well. So let's say I just wanted to meet with her to solely just talk about, her speaking engagements or whatever it is. I'm not necessarily interested in the juicing. There should be some kind of separation, just a little bit there. So this is one of the things that we did here. And then I'm going to show you another design that I came up with as well. This is if we just want to focus on Dr. O, the services she offers as a consultant, and then later on we can get to the juice as well. So this is, again, being able to make an appointment. Now, one of the things that you'll notice with this, we're not necessarily just selling the product, but we're selling services. So being able to make an appointment is super important, especially if you're a consultant or just selling services. People should be able to contact you or make an appointment quickly and then get back to you fast. So this is what we did here with Dr. O. And I will actually show you one more thing. This was the mobile app. The system will let me. There we go. We just did a couple of things there for her. So mobile app, staying with the same colors, helping with branding. This stays with people's mind. They remember, okay, good. It's an app that's easy to use. They can sign in, go get their juice, and then keep moving. So that's the deal with Dr. O. Now, my last one, last but not the least, I have my computer has a mind of its own. There we go. So here we have Better Nutrition, Better You. I had a chance to speak with Francielle about her business, and I'm going to show you her site. And then again, we will talk through a few more things here. So let me do this. There's a whole lot of back and forth, guys. Bear with me. There we go. And here. And home, and I'm going to share my screen. There we go. So this is Francielle's site. So here you can see Better Nutrition, Better You, what it's about, services that are offered. Hey, let's chat, let's get started together. You get to see who she is, the landing page. She actually made some changes based on the conversation that we had earlier, so I like that. What we decided to do is let's modernize things just a little bit, and I will now show you a design that we came up with here. So this is the design. We came up with two things here, and let's get one more. There we go. All right, so here is this one. So one of them here was the Better Nutrition, Better You, your call to action. So right away, hey, this is who we are. Why don't you just hit us up? Talk to us. Let's get started. So it's a way to get things going. You do have access to social media icons there. And then next thing you get to is what we deliver. So I don't have to spend the entire time trying to figure out what you do exactly. It's right here. We can get the information. I can scroll down and see, oh, okay, cool. This is who this is about. Now, one of the reasons why we have this, granted, this is not necessarily healthy, but Francielle actually makes amazing snacks that are very healthy alternatives for people to try. And one of the suggestions I made was have that be available so that people can be able to check them out and, see what you offer. So you want to put that out there. And also testimonials from customers, and then being able to join a newsletter. Because one of the suggestions I made too was for her to think about having a blog, being a resource, because maybe I don't necessarily know what a dietitian does, but I'm interested in losing some weight and I'm looking for healthier alternatives I don't want to just keep eating EBA every day, right? Like, so what can you give me that will taste good with my egusi, but I don't want to eat I think they have this broccoli mix. I mean, I don't want to just swallow broccoli with egusi. It's weird, right? So what's out there for me? And I look through and I come across one of Francielle's blog posts or something. That's a way to get my attention because I read through it. I go, oh, okay. She knows what she's talking about. And then I'm curious to know more about her. So that's one of the things that, utilizing blogs, again, that's your transformation that way. Finding ways to use the technologies that are out there to get information out and get people's attention. So those are the things that were done. And then what I wanted to do is, because I've been talking for so long, Francielle, I don't know if you're able to, I'd like you to, let's talk for a little bit. And you tell me, at least share with everybody, what you thought of the assessment and did it help you? Did it make sense to you? Let's kind of talk through that.
Sure. So yeah, good evening, everyone again. Really was really pleased to work with Kim in this process. And you can see from the other businesses that she highlighted, One Way Fabrics, Dr. O. Josini, she's really passionate about helping small businesses grow and really take advantage of every opportunity. So the first thing that I did with Kim was, tell her about my business and why I became a dietitian, why it's important to me, and then what I wanted the website to be able to do. So one of the things that she mentioned, the chatbot earlier, and I've just started accepting insurance. And so a lot of folks have questions about insurance, and a chatbot would be really helpful on my website. Similarly, I'm not always available during the day. If someone could just type in, hey, do you accept Blue Cross Blue Shield? And, with the AI, I could say, or I could program it to say yes. So something that I had never, ever thought about. And that was one big thing that stuck with me. Of course, the resource thing, something I've been hearing from my husband for a while, that I needed to write blogs. And I was like, oh, I don't want to. So sometimes it takes someone else to kind of point out things that would be really helpful. The other thing, just about having your information at the top, so folks don't have to scroll all the way down or even click to different tabs that you have. So she just really helped me break it down, and folks don't have the attention span. And when I thought about myself, I don't have a long attention span either for, things when you're clicking around on your phone. Usually you're half distracted anyway. So you need the information quickly, and just kind of being able to helping me put myself in the customer's perspective or potential customer's perspective. What do they need and how quickly do they need it? Because they don't know the ins and outs like you do. And so just really helping me step back. I think that was a really helpful part. So I was so pleased with the mock-up she did, that I'm going to use her services in enhancing and revamping my website. And just a note, and I love to save money. I was talking to Daysila yesterday about how cheap we are, but this is a worthwhile investment. So whether you use her services or not, just thinking about how to work smarter, not necessarily harder on your business, and how a small investment monetarily can save you on time. Obviously, I'm not an IT expert. I spent probably 20 hours on the website after my initial assessment, and it still doesn't look as good as her mock-up. So just think about that, how you can just really take advantage of any opportunity to be in front of folks. And that online presence, I didn't think it was a big deal, but after seeing the transformation, I was like, this is absolutely necessary, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense. If I'm not taking advantage of every opportunity, and we aren't as business owners, then I don't know, I just don't think we're maybe doing the best that we could. So That's my bit there. Anything else, Kim?
No, I think that, I mean, you really kind of, you hit the point there. So, how I get, with everything, I guess, with sitting down, well, let me go back. So prior to doing the assessment, what did you think of, I guess, what did you think was going to happen? Because most people kind of get nervous and think they're going to get picked on, and maybe, someone will tell them everything that's wrong. So tell me what you were thinking prior to
Yeah.
it, the assessment.
Well, yeah, before the assessment, my site didn't even look as quote unquote good as what she showed you. And honestly, I was fine with that because it's not like, we're here to grow, we're here to learn, we're here to improve. And it's not like Kim is or whoever is going to come in and say, oh, Runway Fabrics, you have terrible fabrics. No, she's just trying to help us sell more of those fabulous fabrics that we have, right? So just helping me, how can I further my mission in helping improve folks' nutrition, improve their health, empower them to eat better and live better? And if, in a very constructive way, criticizing my online presence is going to help me do more of my mission, then I'm all about it. So I think it was very helpful and very constructive and not too critical at all.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad I could be of help. Yeah. So, I mean, pretty much, I just wanted to be able to have you just share your experience and just tell people what you thought. And that's all I have, really, guys. So, I'm open for questions or whatever you can throw at me with the little time that I have left. And again, thank you so much for hearing me share and talk through all this.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kim. Our session is scheduled till 8:30. So Kim, you let us know on your timing, but we are open for questions now. So you can type them into the chat box. If you have questions on maybe something specific to your business or the services that Kim provides. Kim, we have some questions coming in. Let me see. Okay, so the first one is, what type of support comes with Z software?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, with Z Software, we are a full stack digital agency. What does that mean? So pretty much everything within your digital space, we've got that covered. So be it like custom software development, we can do that. It could also be just branding and getting things set up. So, being able to brand your business in the digital space that we're in right now, we definitely have a team for that too. We have your website design, we've got QA and process analysis, everything that you can think of in digital space, we've got the team for that, which is slightly scary, but that's what we do. But a lot of times, honestly, one of the things that what I'd like to do with a lot of whenever I get a chance to speak to different groups is, especially with your group, with what's going on with Proverbs 31, anybody from the group can actually maybe set up a time and I can do a business assessment with them for free. Just, we can talk, just see how we could better, get you where you need to be. And if you see any services that we offer, that's fine. You can utilize that as well too. But we are here to support businesses, get them going into the digital space they need to be in.
Thank you. And we have Oluchi who wants to ask a question by audio. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Kim. Thanks, and thanks for everyone who put this together. So I have an online shop and I sell accessories, African-centric accessories. And I spent a lot of time recently working on optimizing my site, looking at, optimizing keywords and things like that. And there's a lot of push with SEO around blogs and creating a lot of blog content. And I kind of struggle with that because I'm like, well, as a product business, it's hard. I have to really be creative to think about new blog ideas and things like that. So from your perspective, is it for product-based businesses, does SEO still work, and how best to leverage that?
Oh, I love that question. So honestly, I didn't even get a chance to even touch on SEO. So thank you for reminding me. Super important. You want people to be able to, let's say within your area, or if they're just looking for Afrocentric accessories, being able to type that in and have you show up without having to dig through pages, that's super important. Now, how do you stay relevant, and how do you come up with things, and how do you stay unique? Honestly, I won't lie to you, LG. You know how they always say there's nothing new under the sun, right? You are probably gonna have to like find ways to be creative what's out there already. So one of the things I tend to do with clients is we look for the competitors, see what's out there, see what they're doing, and then maybe find ways to make it better, right? You look through and you go, all right, so this person is doing the exact same thing I'm doing. However, here's where, let me not say that this is where I'm better, but here's where I make things a little different, right? They're talking about, I don't know, I'm trying to think, scarves, right? Well, scarves are great, but here's the thing, I actually offer you like real authentic stuff. So speak on that. Because you can really look into see like what is it they're doing, find ways to make that better. And then also I would suggest maybe sitting down with someone who can do some consulting on the SEO and see what words are out there. And that could help too. See what's going on within your region. I'm trying to think of other ways too. Another thing is also finding ways to piggyback off of other, like networking groups, because maybe they already have their stuff set up the way they need to be. So maybe you could purchase like, so let's say, for example, if you were to type in like Afrocentric items and it pulls up this like group, right? There's the first one that pops up there. Why don't you buy some ad space there? Because that's going to pop up really fast. And maybe you can piggyback off of that to get your name out there. Am I making sense? Like you can find other ways to do things without stressing yourself, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Can I ask a follow-up question that's kind of technical?
Okay.
How do I increase dwell time on my page? How do I get people to stay longer? Because when people come in, they pop out and all that. And how do you increase dwell time when you are you're a small business? You don't have a ton of products for people to scroll through. How do you get them to stay longer?
I love that. Okay, so another thing that's in place you could do too is sometimes some sites will have some tracking codes, so you can see what the pattern is when people go on. For the ones that actually maybe stay a little bit, where are they going to? So, and also maybe they're not staying because you don't have like maybe pictures that catch their attention. So this is where you can have someone just take a look and see, and they can give some suggestions. So if you don't have that much product, that's okay. Your pictures, most of the time people just like pictures. So maybe right off the bat, get them with some pictures, because then they go, ooh, I like this, and I move on to the next one. So it could be pictures of people with your actual items. For example, think of it like Instagram is literally strangers looking at other people's photo albums. It's weird, right? But it works. So maybe utilizing that and just keeping their attention that way. So we get to see like, oh, this is somebody actually like a real person wearing this. Picture's great. That'll keep me going and scrolling through. And then you can throw some other stuff at them too. So those are the things that you could, that I would suggest that you could do. And then, maybe you can reach out and I can take a look at your website and see what I can suggest your way if you want.
Thank you so much. I would love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We have another participant that would like to ask a question by audio. So Tulumide, go ahead.
Hello? Okay, sorry. I was talking. I heard you talk about chatbot options, and I'm in music industry, and I think mine is a bit more kind of selling on emotion and audio experience. And the chatbots I've been hearing a lot about as an option. So I wanted to ask about that. I mean, I have doing that via website, but then also kind of streamlining it through social media as well.
All right. So that's a good one too. All right. So now I know you said that you're a musician. Is
Yes.
that okay? And then when people go to your website, what kind of information, are they getting? Like, are they going to just get a snippet of your songs? Like what's happening exactly? Like when they go to your site, what kind of experience like, let's say you were trying to get me to go to your site right now, and you're looking at it from a user's perspective. What kind of experience are you giving me when I go to your site? There's a point to it, I promise. There's a point to my question.
The first, right now, it starts off with my latest single, and then it goes into the next thing is an email sign-in, since I've been trying to kind of direct people, get more kind of direct to fan base interaction. So then it's email, and then it's bio and a few videos. But off the top is some visual, like a music video, then the email sign up sheet, and then just a little bit more about me. So my bio and a few tabs too.
Okay. So then looking at that or kind of following through that process, when people reach out to you, what kind of questions are they asking? Do you have anything where like someone's like, I absolutely have to get a hold of Tulumide right now. I need to talk to her about something. Do you think there's like a need for that at this moment?
So far, sometimes it's for bookings to sing at an event, and sometimes it's just tell me when you have tell me when you have something new coming up, or like a new song coming up. So mainly that, but I'm not quite sure. Like I don't know. I know I'm getting some traffic, but I'm not quite sure exactly. And like I don't have like numbers to show exactly what the need is. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So those are the things that you probably want to start doing, right? Like start looking at your numbers, and numbers help so much because then you say, okay, you know what? Maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays people come all the time and they're always going to this particular area. So that helps. I would probably maybe do more of that and pay attention to your numbers than even worry about chatbots at this very moment. Because another thing, this reason why I'm saying it. In your case, because you're a musician, there's a little bit of mystery if I can't really get a hold of you all the time. Does that make sense? So there's some people where it's like you should not be that accessible. I know it doesn't make any sense, but it's more of like I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of like if you're dating somebody and they tell you, you got to be mysterious. They don't get to know you. That's what happens. That's what happens in this situation. So like you can't be that accessible, which is weird. Like it's like I want to be able to get your music and know what's going on, but if I can now chat with you all the time, that mystery is not there anymore. Does that make sense? So in your case, I wouldn't necessarily suggest a chatbot per se, unless you're selling a whole lot of merchandise and maybe for people having a hard time getting a hold of you, then yeah. But a lot of times for bookings, people who are doing bookings, they know how to reach you. They send an email. Let's do this, right? Yeah, so that would be, does that make sense what I'm saying? Like right now, I would say working on numbers, try to figure out where are they going when they come in, right? Maybe rearrange your site a little bit. Maybe have like, I don't know, random Zoom sessions and things like that, right? Then they can reach you that way. So you're not that accessible, but you kind of are, but not really. That's what my suggestion would be. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. We have another question in the chat. How can I attract customers to my Shopify site and actually start selling a reasonable amount of products?
Okay. So here's the deal. It's kind of like that. Which one comes first, the egg or the chicken? If I were to go to your site and you don't have anything that's going to get my attention, chances are I won't want to come back again. Right? So you don't want to, you kind of find a balance. You don't want to like have a necessary amount of inventory and you're not getting any clients. But then you don't want to have just 2 items when you have a big influx of people and they're like, oh, you don't have anything I want. They won't come back again. It's finding a balance. So I'm not sure what you're selling. But one of the things that we have a client who actually just went live that was selling children's clothing. And her mix was, she didn't have she started off with just a good amount of inventory. So not too much that will be overwhelming, but just enough to give variety. Those are the things that I would suggest. So it's a little hard because I'd like to take a look and see what you're doing and what you're selling. And then we can make some suggestions. So maybe not having like 100 of one thing, but just a few items here and there. Because then what happens is you can push out, do a big promo, letting people know that, hey, the site is out there. Because again, if people don't know about it, they can't find you. Utilize SEO, put in keywords so they can be able to find you. I'm not sure what you're selling, but when they now find you, what kind of stuff do you have? Make sure that you are accessible, because in your case, you should be accessible. So maybe a chatbot's very important. So in case you don't have the items, you can say, hey, sign up and we will have this coming in next week. Just some way to be able to get their attention. One big thing would be make sure you have your mailing list set up so that in case you don't have something for me, but you're promising me that you get in contact with me, set up a mailing list and then have that going as well. But if you want, again, as I say all this, I don't mind checking out your site and I can give you better information. Because again, it's a little tricky because I'm not sure what you're selling. But those are the suggestions I would make. I hope that made sense.
Thank you for that response. And if I'm trying to see who asked that question. If there was any other follow-up information that you wanted to provide, feel free. So another question that we have in the chat, our very own Deaconess Remy is running for office. We're so excited to support her. And this question is from her. How can I leverage this digitalization with my campaign website? Her website is www.voteremyduyele.com.
Okay.
Happy to follow up if others have pressing tips.
We can take it offline if it's going to eat up into other people that might want to have questions right now. Since we are the host, my question should not eat up the time. But if there's time, I would love to answer. I can follow up. That's all.
I think
love to answer briefly. Yeah, I can answer.
Yes,
I'm not going to be like, no answer. No, Deaconess, this is awesome. So first things first, congratulations. I think that's great. So yay. What I would suggest is, I actually would like to check out the website. So I will do that. One of the things that I did prior to, so I feel like I've had like 10,000 lifetimes in doing this, but prior to going into doing the IT space and all that, I actually did work with a lot of, politicians, and it was just coming up with different ways to get things out there. And that's where I got my whole branding and PR stuff too. So anyway, with this time and age or day and age, it's being able to connect with your constituents. And then here's the thing that's really cool. Your, you know how your URL, maybe making it a little shorter so that I can go, oh, that's what it is, and be able to get on there. Having a site that's responsive. And then this is the thing, you now want to be accessible because people want to ask you questions, to be ready to answer those questions and then show people who you are. Because a lot of times right now, day and age, with politicians and stuff, they just want to have that connection with you, right? So utilizing social media, utilizing all technologies around you, but being able to make it personable so that each person that's reaching out or going to your site and getting information and they're reaching out to you, if you can find a way to personalize your user experience, that would help a lot. Because then what you're trying to do is you want to convert, like get people to go to the site, convert them to where, you know, they actually want to know more about you and they want to keep visiting. So the site now has to be engaging, whatever it is that you're utilizing, it has to keep their attention, and then also get them to sign up so that you can send stuff out to them and then make it shareable, right? So like, I like what you have going on. I want my friends to know about you. Utilize plugins like where you can share things on Facebook and share things on Instagram and all the 10,000 other social media things that are out there. Maybe even do TikTok. I don't know. I'm not a TikTok person, but there are things that are out there to utilize, and you can definitely get that audience. One of the things I always ask is, you know, who are you trying to attract? What's your end goal? And then we now start work through to get you to that place. And we definitely love to talk some more with you offline too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if you have additional questions, put them in the chat, please. And I have two that I thought of. One kind of related to what Deaconess Remy said on the personalization thing. I have seen and I guess receive these from time to time where like I visited a website or I signed up for this or that. And the email that I get has my name in it in like a few different places. I don't know what kind of program is able to do that, because I mean, I just, even if it's not, you know, something that I'm going to take action on, I just like seeing my name and it's like, oh, they're talking to me, even though maybe I haven't met this person.
Oh, that is a part of personalizing the experience. Because again, people always have this misconception that once you go digital, it takes away that personal thing. And it doesn't. Just something that small as putting your name there makes you feel like, oh, this is for me, right? Not just anybody. So it's scripting. And then also too, knowing like, hey, so, we've got Franciel, and let's say we have Frank. Frank is interested in, I don't know, black USB cords. Franciel likes pink USB cords. Based on the information that you give me, based on the tracking, based on your patterns that I see, right, on the site, and also because you've also signed up, and maybe I can also see your buying history. I'm just using that for example, doesn't necessarily have to be just purchasing, but all that information I've gathered helps me so that now when I reach out to everybody that likes pink USB cords, the system knows, here's the list of names, right? And then we have their name, we've got them signed up, this is what they like to do, this is their pattern, this is everything on, this is based on what you've asked me to look for. System says, I've looked through the data, here's what I have for you. And then with the scripting, we know, okay, now when you send this email out, because I won't lie to you, Franciel, chances are you got the same email that other people got. It's just that your name, popped up, right? So the goal would be, all right, so they like pink USB cords. Let's send them an email that will get their attention. And then with the scripting in place, it can now, plug in their first and last name. So when I'm writing it, it's just like parentheses, first comma, last name. We have pink USB cords just for you, first name. So that's the scripting. Now what system does goes, every time I see that first name, last name, I put your name in there, and then we send it out to you. So those are the things that you could do to personalize. Same thing too with that. I guess one thing I want to stress is, as everybody's looking at ways to transform their organization or their business or their services, or perhaps you're just trying to transform you if you're selling yourself as a service anyway, make sure you've identified what your culture is. You do not want to do this, like what, we told Lumide, who's a musician, she wouldn't do the exact same thing I would be doing as a tech company, right? So we all have different cultures. You have different people you're appealing to. That's how you personalize the experience. Once you can say, this is who I'm targeting, this is what we're doing, here's what I do as an organization, and here's our culture, and here's what's important to us. Once you define all of that, the technology you use will then find a way to be able to work through that. That's my suggestion anyway. So that's one of the things I typically would suggest to you.
No, thank you. I think that's really good of defining your culture and everything else coming after that. And I just want to encourage folks, if you have questions, please put them in the chat box. And I had another thing, Kim, that I'd like you to talk about. The landing page versus a full website. And even if you didn't want to do full website, like all of the value you can get from a really killer landing page.
So back in the day, a full-on web page was just it, right? Like it's something you just had to do. So a lot of people have websites and they're great, but you have to keep in mind, a lot of people don't want to just click through those pages. They just want to get on there and get what they need to get and keep moving. So that's where landing pages kind of, came about. So you have a very nice landing page. You've got the micro animation stuff to get their attention. Now, let's say I'm just one of the people that just doesn't have time to click around. Just from that landing page, think of it, your home page, I now have everything that I need. So some people go, oh my goodness, it's so long. Well, if you actually have it, programmed properly, you can actually have it where if I'm now interested, so like I have some clients who don't want a full-on page, just want that landing page. It's a very long landing page, but once you get to it, it just goes by sections. So now if I click on something, I can literally scroll down to that particular section that I want to get to. I get what I need and I keep moving. And it saves you money because landing pages are not as expensive as getting a full-on website. But you can get that information to get out there without having to, pay unnecessary amount of money, if I'm making any sense there. So my thing I always tell people is, if you can't afford a full website, just get a landing page. Have that, get their attention. And, within that landing page, you have your call to action. You can have them sign up for mailing lists. Everything can be done on that page. And then if it's done properly, you get the right developers. They can do the micro animations. People are not getting bored staring at just the stationary thing. And then, just have the right functionality in place. So that's how I think landing pages help.
Sounds good. And can you talk about in connection with the services that Z Software offers, what a landing page kind of looks like, price range, what a website kind of looks like, so our business owners can get an idea of, what kind of investment they could expect to make that is, really going to help them further reach their customers.
Man, Francielle. Okay, so a lot of times people run away from pricing because they think, oh my goodness, website's going to like cost like a crazy amount of money, and I get it. But think of it as this is your long-lasting digital footprint you're putting out there, and you want to make a good impression. So with us, we actually, based on one of the things that we tend to do with clients, is we do work with budgets, but we are realistic about a lot of things. So for with this group anyway, for Proverbs 31, and also giving us a chance to come and talk with you, we are offering a very highly discounted rate right now with landing pages. So for like a good landing page, not just working with a regular theme, like actually having your own template. So if you see all the designs that we had there, where we had our UI UX designers actually like create these things from scratch, and every placement of the buttons, were thought through. So those are the things I want to keep in mind. But anyway, so a landing page, have that in place. We're actually doing that for $450. So that will give you your front end development and your back end as well. We do have hosting available too, and we offer it usually starts at $10 a month, but right now we're offering to the group at $750. So $7.50. I know I said $750 to Francielle, and she thought I said $750. So no, we're not doing that to you guys. But the full-on page, we do with a full-on website, usually depends on what's needed. So some people would want integration of things. Some people have it where they want the website and they also want to integrate it with other third-party apps and make it their own. So maybe it's like adding Calendly or adding this and have a seamless integration, things like that. Those are other things that we also consider as well. And what if people are interested and would like to talk, we could definitely do that. And then we could talk about things and talk about people's budget and see what we can do to help out with that as well. Because one of the things that I noticed is with a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, people kind of stop short of getting that full digital transformation because of the cost. So we do work out, payment plans and things like that. Just figure out ways to be able to get people out there and get your business going.
Thank you. I'm putting your contact information in the chat. And again, as I said earlier, just for our business owners on the line, and I'm not like a paid spokesperson or anything, but I just think this is an incredible value, because I've just spent hours and hours, like dozens and dozens of hours with Wix. And what is the other one that I started with a long time ago? The other one you can make, it has like a templated thing.
Right.
Yeah, but those things don't really do you justice. And first of all, if you're not techie, it still takes a long time to try to figure out, even though they say it's like a couple clicks and you have a website. But having someone help you think through the process and the process of what you want your customers to experience when they come on your site. What do you want them to leave with? I guess first do, and then leave with. And even in the assessment that I did with Kim, that was just something that I hadn't thought of. Most of my stuff had been kind of word of mouth, and I was fine with that. And I just, kind of had the side up just because. But forcing me to think through, okay, now you want to expand and have more clients. They're going to have to find you somehow. And if they come to this site, what is their impression of you? How long are they going to spend there? And especially if it's not eye-catching or they can't get to the information that they need, then they're far less likely to turn into an actual customer. And again, back to a lot of our businesses are mission driven. We're very passionate about what we do, but we need those opportunities to do them with our customers, right? Or do them for our customers. So I just wanted to put that out there. We have another question that came in. Oh, yes, we are recording the session and we will send it out to participants that are registered. Any other questions? Please type them in the chat box.
While people are thinking through, again, I just want to really, really stress a lot of things. Well, you just want to remember, just like Francia was saying, and I don't know how I forgot to mention this, but your customer experience is absolutely important from start to finish. It's because, well, they're the ones that you want to, have come back. So if you already have a site going, think of how you can make that experience better for your customers. Look at it from their perspective. Think of it from a perspective of someone who's never seen you before, happen to just come across your site, maybe do that. And also, you have customers who have been coming back, right? So look at that from that perspective as well. Like, what are you doing to keep them? What kind of loyalty programs do you have in place? And just let that experience, let it make sense for them. Because again, you've got so many other people who are courting them. So why should they stay with you? Always think about that as you're just, working on building your strategy and things like that. So that's one of the things I want to also mention too.
Thank you for that, Kim. Any other questions? Please type them in the chat box.
Next question, if that's okay.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Kim, so we talked a lot about getting our sites to the point where they're customer friendly and they work well for customers. I find there's a struggle in getting enough people to the site, right? So do you have services around, marketing, digital marketing, things like that? Because that's a whole nother beast, right?
Oh, yeah.
To your site so that people can actually, because it's great if you have 1,000 people come to the site every day, but if you're trying to get there, how do you get there?
Right. Yeah, no, we do offer digital marketing services as well. And I think that's one of the things that comes with just doing that assessment. And it's just taking a look and going, okay, what's your site about? Who are you trying to attract? The people that have come to your site, where do they come from? Do you have access to that data right now, Oluchi, like knowing where they're coming from?
To be honest, I know that I can put a tracker from Facebook and stuff. I do know a lot of my customers are coming from Facebook. But in terms of do I have, there's like a tracker code or whatever it is, I don't have that embedded in the site yet. So
okay,
there's work to do on that.
Yeah, that helps a lot, right? Because then we know, okay, this is where they're coming from. And maybe that also will let us know that probably that's not where you want them to be coming from, right? Maybe they're coming in, but they're not staying because it's not for them. So we have to really take a look and go, okay, where can we really get the people for you? Where can we sit and, get their attention and then start from there? So a lot of times it's just maybe after we have a talk, I start working on a persona. Like, who's your person? Where do they hang out? What do they watch? What do they do? And then we just get in their face, without being intrusive, of course. So those are the suggestions, but definitely we do offer digital marketing services as well. Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We have another question that came in the chat. Do you have preferences in an email service provider? This person, Tulumide currently uses FanBridge and Arbor.
Honestly, not really. I don't have a preference per se. No. I think it just depends on what you're trying to get done. And then, usually this is where you make them the providers work for you, and they provide a different vendor services, and then you pick what you need. Do you have, like, right now with what you're using, do you not like them? I'm just curious. Like, I don't know if you can answer my question. Sorry, I don't have the chat pulled up yet.
Oh, yes, no, they're fine. I just was wondering because I'm trying to streamline, so I'm not use multiples. So I just was trying to see what options to kind of streamline into one service.
Gotcha. We definitely do want to streamline because then you are able to have better track of things. One of the things I could do too is definitely contact me and let's see what we could do. And I could do some research for you as well, and then get back to you on some things I could make some suggestions for. Just kind of based on what you're trying to do. We get like a good workflow together, and then I can make some suggestions that way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have another question that has come in. How can digitization support offline one-on-one interactions with customers?
How can digitization support one-on-one interaction with customers? Is what you're saying? I just want to make sure I get the
Yes,
question. Okay.
offline. I think like in person probably.
Gotcha. So, one way that you could do it is, so let's say, for example, you have a brick and mortar. I'm not sure of the way things are set up. One, maybe before they come to your brick and mortar, getting their attention so that they know that you actually exist. So, the website and having a fully functional site, having your hours posted and know how to reach you. Um, Maybe having them complete like an intake form so that you have their information. So when they do show up, you have everything you need rather than slowing down the process and having to ask them questions over and over again. So that's one way to do that. I'm not sure what forms or what things you have available, but if you actually get them to be digitized, you can, prior to their coming in, they can take their time to maybe write out what they need, things like that. So when they do show up and they're there with you in person, you have everything that's needed and you're not having to ask them. So it's a way of reducing redundancies. So you can get right to the meat of things. And then they feel like they actually spent their time with you wisely rather than going over fluff. So that's one way to do things. And I mean, there's so many other ways that digitization can help that one-on-one process. I just have to get a good understanding of what your business does, and I can make some other suggestions as well too.
Thank you for that. We have a couple more questions that have come in. What part of your business can be digitalized? Is it every aspect, or are there certain aspects that should be preferably focused on?
Honestly, I know this sounds like I'm giving you a broken record here, but it does depend on what you're offering, right? And you can choose to make everything digitalized, or you can choose to focus on one thing. If you have something that's working right now, you can keep it the way it is, but make sure you have a plan and process to go for digitization. Because especially if it's analog, because that's not going to last for a very long time. So it honestly depends on what you're offering, I guess what services are, and then what are your goals? Like, what are the things that you'd like to reach? What are your goals? And then maybe it might just be working on just one aspect of things and digitizing that, making it easier for yourself. It might just be working on digitizing things to work for operations. It could be something that could work on getting the services to be better, or maybe doing everything all at once. It just depends on the business. So again, that's where the conversation comes in. We could do the assessment and then talk through things, and suggestions can be made that way.
Thank you for that answer. There's another question we have that can an individual brand not linked to a product or service be digitized?
Yes, I believe so. Let me use Tulumide, for example, because she just happens to be the one I could think of right now. So Tulumide is a musician, and she and herself she's literally a brand, right? She can digitize, not necessarily her physically as a human being, that would be weird. But she can digitize, how she gets her information out there. So again, as you could, she mentioned her website. People can go on there and they can hear, maybe hear snippets of her upcoming music. She can say, hey, I have an upcoming, I don't know, words, event coming up. People can meet with me, things like that, meet and greets, putting it out there, giving her a chance to tap into, maybe based on where she is, right? She might have a fan base in Switzerland. And how do you do that? You can't do it from just sitting, in DC. You reach out to folks, and this is where you digitize things and get out to that fan base, maybe looking into different networking groups and things like that, and then finding ways to make things work for her. So yes, long story short, you can. What that brand is or what you offer, that's a different, we'd have to have a conversation about that. Also, the big thing is, and let's kind of circle around the word brand. You want to establish your brand. This is where you guys say, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, and here's how I want to get the attention of my target audience, and here's what I want to do. So those are the things that have to kind of be in place. But yes, I believe that you can do that. Yes.
Thank you. And for the last few minutes, I wanted to first ask permission before I ask the question. Deaconess Remy, do you mind if I ask these, like there's a couple of questions left in let's say connection to your campaign website?
No, you can do that. I mean, as long as we stay within the time allotted to respect everybody that's on. No
Okay.
problem.
Sounds good. So one of the questions is, what are some more best practices for digitalizing your business? And what are some challenges that come with digitalization? So I know Deaconess Remy put her website in the chat a little bit ago. So Kim, I don't know if you can go to it or if it's better if she kind of describes it.
Let's see. Okay, I got the link. Let me see if I can get to it. Bear with me. I paused the share so I can see here. Okay. It should work for me. Bear with me. That's what happens when I have too many pages up. All right, so I've got vote Remy. Yes. Okay, so it's going there, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Can you guys see it coming slowly?
Yes, we can see it.
All right, there we go. All right, cool. So we're looking at best practice. So if I'm coming in here and this is what I'm seeing this page. Okay, great. One of the things that you probably want to do, I would say best practices. I know this sounds weird, but imagine if you were inviting me in to hear you speak, maybe at a fundraiser or something, right? To make things personalized, you meet me at the door. There are times when I do some teaching sessions, and best practice was the speaker would actually be at the door to greet the people as they come in, because it makes it personalized, right? So it's like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Kim. I'm going to be your speaker for today, whatever. That makes them feel like, oh, okay, you took the time to come talk to me. So it's not like something you're just so far away. There's a bit of connection there. So meet me at the door is what I would do here. So meeting at the door might be just something that says, okay, I see this, I get it, but what can you do to connect with me, right? I will dig in, I will get to know more, but make sure like you're not too distant from me. So that's where that chat could come in. You know how sometimes you have that chat and it says hello, just something. Now, we don't want to be too annoying and have it bouncing around the place, but just find a way to meet me at the door. And yes, I do see that I get a chance to meet you, but meet me, right? Those are one of the things that you want to do. Best practice. You don't want to throw too many things at people. Now, I understand my monitor is huge because I do a lot of work on my computer. So don't freak out. It might not be this big, but this is my monitor. So I do see the chance for me to watch the video. Now, one of the things you'll notice is I'm scrolling down. If you notice some sites, they have these little micro animations now where things are kind of floating and moving. And that's because a lot of people tend to get bored just staring at something that's just so static. So something that moves, something that gets me where I need to be. You know, I would change a few things here with the header too. So you have a website. That's a good thing. Obviously, so I think you already started the process, but what else can you do now to make this or transform what you have to even like to enhance the process, enhance things? I would utilize a chat. I would give me a chance to see, like, you see the video is great and everything else, but you know, if I get a chance to see this and I see, you know, all the things you're doing, give me a chance to see your social media page that makes you a real person. Now, this is nice, like I get to see this, but what if all I did was just stay right here and I never went down there? I wouldn't know anything about you because I don't have the patience to get to know you. So I guess going back, let's put a chat there. Best practices, just being able to kind of get down to this level where you're interacting with people individually. So get a chance to meet me, get all the stuff, put the information there so I kind of pick through what I want, get my attention within this area here, because sometimes I might not scroll down. So those are the things that I would suggest. Is that making sense? And then, here, this is absolutely lovely, right? Now you're saying, let's make history. What history are we making, right? Would you be the first woman going for the seat? Would you be the first Nigerian woman? Like, what's happening here? Tell me what we're doing. If you want me to make history, I'm okay with that, but what kind of history? Things like that. And maybe you have some other stuff to show me. Now, I would say maybe with the, if I were to break it down, I would change a few things with layout, but those are little things that I would do. Utilizing, like, kind of find ways to intertwine your social media page with this. Maybe you have any other speaking engagement, things like that. We get a chance to see that. And this is fine. This is a call to action for donate. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's pretty good best practice. What was the other question? Forgive me, Francielle. There's another question that you had. There's another follow-up to best practice.
Yeah, the last question was, what are some challenges that come with digitization?
The challenges that come with it is you have to be quick because, as you know, technology changes. So let's say we're like, hey, put a chat in, and then you take forever to put that chat. Maybe something else comes out now. So you spent the money, you just didn't implement it. And now there's like a better chat, right? It's like, what's going on? So there has to be a fast turnaround with a few things. Also, too, you spend money. You're gonna have to spend some money. Like, I'm not saying you spend like millions and millions. No, you don't have to do that, but you do have to spend a little bit. So you have people who are like, I don't want to spend $1. I'm like, I get it. So then what's gonna happen is you're not gonna have transformation, but that's okay too. Like, it's fine. Now, let's say you can find other ways to make it happen, but I would say to you to have that full-on transformation where you're able to go from employee experience, customer experience, operating, increasing your processes with operations and, making your product or service better, you will have to spend some kind of money to affect all those things and make it better and actually make it worthwhile. So that's usually where you have a little bit of a drawback there. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for all of your great expertise that you shared with us this evening and spotlighting our business owners in the case studies. Very helpful from that personalization standpoint. So we really appreciate that. Deaconess Remy, anything else to close us out?
Wow, what a great evening for all of us to learn together, to care together and share together. Can we do a Zoom clap for our speaker? Tim, you are amazing. Your presentation is so engaging and fun. You just helped us to demystify digitalization. So regardless of the size of your business, of our businesses, or what we do, you made it sound possible. So that really got me to say, oh, yes, I can. Yes, we can. So thank you so very much. And your openness and your willingness to say, you know what? I can help you, meaning you've said, oh, you can get us some way forward. Thank you for that. And I know some of the women and businesses will take you up on that offer and see how we can use this digitalization that's here to stay, to maximize what we bring to the world. It's not about us. It's the ability to replicate and present what we have to share with the world. And thank you for making it sound so simple, because I know it's not, but because you're such a great expert and you love what you do, it translates. I can see it all over you. So thank you so much. And thank you, Francielle, for the great moderation, for pulling out questions that each and every one of us can find benefit now or later. And thank you for looking at our website. The campaign website is still in the works, and your feedback will be incorporated and let the committee hear the feedback that you've given. So thank you for that too. These are things that are not cheap, guys. When we bring experts like her and many others, it's out of the vision that our mother, Pastor Omo, has for the women ministry. Of course, we love our men, don't get me wrong, but the focus is to see how we women can be truly empowered. And you know, technology is here to stay. Some of us are still old school like me. We're learning forcefully and just going with the flow because we don't have a choice or we'll be left behind. So tonight you've made it easy for us to say, yes, we can. And we're going to take you up on the offer. And with your permission, if we can share the video, I mean, the Zoom recording, because I'm sure other people would hear about this and might want to pick a few things, a few nuggets here and there. If we can share that, then it can go around and definitely you'll hear from some of us, if not all of us. So we thank you very much. And as we close, we just want to appreciate everyone who has made time to be here this evening, because Friday evening is not the coolest to be pulled away from all the fun things, but you still made it possible to be here. Thank you so much. And I do hope that the evening has been well spent. I know for me it has, and I'm sure for you it has. And we just want to appreciate Jesus House, our mother, who is the visionary, because it takes a visionary to really have things like this, and the minister, the HOD, all the team members of Proverbs 31. Things like this are not easy. When you have something that's working for you and you bring it to share with others, Francielle and others that maybe have connected with you, we say thank you. Sharing, there's enough to go around. Thank you so much. And Cam, you will hear from us as a ministry, as individuals. We want to make you proud and have some testimonials and say, yes, what you taught us allowed us to have that economic empowerment, because that's what it's all about. Thank you all very much for this evening. And let's just close ourselves out in a brief prayer. Father, Lord, we thank you for this evening, Lord. We thank you for how you started with us. And Lord, thank you for letting us have a great experience, a very engaging experience this evening. Lord, we thank you for everyone that is represented here, who maybe showed up because they needed an answer to one thing or the other. Lord, I pray that you open their eyes to know what the next step is, that Lord, they will not get stuck, but by coming this evening, that you open their eyes and ears of understanding and to seek for help if help is needed. If help is not needed, to take the next step and to know that with you all things are possible, that this is a season to be fearless, to have faith come in. And we thank you for your daughter that you have used tonight to be a blessing. She has poured of herself. Father, we pray you replenish her in many folds. And for everyone that couldn't make it, Lord, we pray as they listen to this recording, Lord, that you will inspire them to take that action and let their potentials be maximized, because that's what we're all about at Jesus House. And at the end of it, Lord, let your name be glorified and let us remain blessed as your children here on earth as we become channels of blessing to humanity. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for coming.